Story 1. The Night Train Through Winter. You settle into your seat by the window, and the train begins to move. It moves slowly at first, so slowly that you barely notice the station platform sliding past. The movement is gentle, almost imperceptible, like the beginning of sleep itself. You rest your head against the cushioned seat and watch through the window as the lights of the station fade into the distance, becoming smaller and smaller until they are just pinpricks of gold in the darkness behind you. The train rocks gently beneath you, a steady, rhythmic motion that feels like being rocked in safe arms. Back and forth, back and forth. The wheels turn against the rails with a low, constant hum that fills the quiet carriage. It's a sound that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, a deep and steady presence that wraps around you like a blanket. Outside your window, snowflakes are beginning to fall. They drift down slowly through the darkness, illuminated by the soft lights of the train. Each flake floats on its own path, turning and tumbling gently through the cold night air. You watch them fall, one after another, endless and peaceful. Some of them land on the window glass, and you can see their delicate patterns for just a moment before they melt away, leaving tiny trails of water that catch the light. The train continues its steady journey through the countryside. Inside the carriage, the lights are dim and warm, casting a gentle glow that doesn't reach very far. There are only a few other passengers scattered throughout the car, and they are all quiet, lost in their own thoughts or drowsing in their seats. The silence is comfortable, the kind of silence that feels full rather than empty. It's the silence of nighttime, of rest, of the world settling into stillness. You turn your attention back to the window. The snow is falling more steadily now, coating the countryside in soft white. Through the darkness and the falling snow, you can make out the shapes of fields rolling past, empty and peaceful under their winter blanket. Sometimes you see the dark silhouette of a fence line or a cluster of bare trees standing together, their branches reaching up into the snowy sky. The train moves past them all at the same unhurried pace, never speeding up, never slowing down. The rocking continues, gentle and constant, back and forth, back and forth. The rhythm never changes, and you find yourself beginning to sync your breathing with it, slow and deep and easy. The warmth inside the train surrounds you, a cocoon against the cold night outside. You can feel it on your skin, soft and comforting, neither too warm nor too cool, but just right. Perfect for resting, perfect for letting go. Through the window, a farmhouse appears in the distance, its windows glowing yellow against the white landscape. Smoke rises from its chimney, a thin gray column that disperses into the falling snow. The train carries you past, and the farmhouse gradually recedes into the darkness behind you, its warm lights becoming smaller and smaller until they vanish entirely. You wonder briefly about the people inside, safe and warm in their home, perhaps sitting by a fire, perhaps already asleep. The thought is a comfortable one, and it drifts away as easily as it came. The snow continues to fall. Each flake catches the light from the train windows as it passes, glinting for just an instant before disappearing into the darkness. You watch this endless procession, flake after flake after flake, and there's something hypnotic about it, something that makes your eyelids grow heavy. But you don't close them yet. You want to keep watching, keep drifting along with the gentle motion of the train. The countryside unfolds in the darkness, revealed only in glimpses. A snow-covered stone wall appears and slides past. a small wooden bridge over a frozen stream. More fields, their furrows hidden beneath the snow, stretching away into the night. Everything is still out there, everything is quiet. The world is sleeping, and you are traveling through it like a dream, safe in your warm seat, rocked by the steady motion of the train. Inside the carriage, someone coughs quietly, a soft sound that doesn't disturb the peace. A few seats ahead, you can see the back of someone's head, tilted against the window. They might be sleeping already, lulled by the same gentle rocking that's making you feel so relaxed, so calm. The other passengers are just quiet presences, sharing this peaceful journey through the winter night. The window glass is cool when you rest your fingertips against it, a pleasant contrast to the warmth of the train. You can feel the slight vibration of the train's movement through the glass, a faint trembling that matches the low hum of the wheels on the rails. Outside, the snow falls past your fingers, separated from you only by this thin pane of glass. So close, yet you remain warm and dry and safe. The train follows its rails through the night, turning gradually through the landscape. Sometimes the view from your window shows open fields stretching away into the darkness. Other times, the train passes through a small grove of trees, their snow-laden branches reaching over the tracks, creating a brief tunnel of white and shadow. Then the trees fall away, and the fields return, rolling and peaceful under the steadily falling snow. Time seems to move differently here on this night train. Minutes might be passing or hours. It doesn't matter. There's nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do. There's only the gentle rocking, the warm light, the falling snow, and the steady rhythm of the wheels. Everything else has fallen away, left behind at the station, or dissolved into the peaceful darkness outside. You shift slightly in your seat, settling more comfortably against the cushions. The fabric is soft against your cheek, and you can smell the faint scent of the train, a mixture of old wood and warm air and something indefinable that belongs only to nighttime trains. It's not unpleasant. It's familiar somehow, even though you might not have noticed it before. It's the smell of travel, of journeys, of distance passing peacefully beneath you. Through the window, you glimpse a small village in the distance. Just a handful of houses clustered together, their roofs heavy with snow. A church steeple rises above them, dark against the gray-white sky. There are a few lights in windows, but most of the village is dark, sleeping. The train doesn't stop there. It continues on, carrying you past, and the village fades back into the snowy night, becoming just another memory in a journey made of many small memories. The snow falls and falls. It never seems to stop, never seems to lessen or increase, but maintains the same steady, gentle descent. The flakes are smaller now, finer, like soft dust drifting down from the sky. They accumulate on the window ledge outside, building up slowly, grain by grain, until there's a small drift against the glass. You watch it grow bit by bit as the train rocks on through the night. The darkness outside is complete, except where the train's lights touch it. Beyond that small circle of illumination, everything is shadow and suggestion. You can sense the presence of the countryside, the fields, the hills, the distant woods, but you cannot see them clearly. They are felt rather than seen, a gentle landscape rolling past in the darkness, peaceful and still. Inside the train, the warm lights continue to glow softly. They reflect in the window glass, creating a double image, the dark winter world outside and the golden interior of the train overlaid upon it. You can see both at once: the falling snow and the reflection of your own seat, the dark fields and the gentle lights above. Two worlds separated by a pane of glass existing together in this quiet moment. The rocking continues. It has never stopped, not for a single moment. Back and forth, steady as a heartbeat, steady as breathing. Your body has learned its rhythm now, has synchronized with it completely. You are part of the train's motion, flowing with it, moving through the night with the same peaceful inevitability as the train itself. Another farmhouse appears in the distance, then another. They are far apart, separated by long stretches of empty fields. Each one is a small island of warmth in the winter darkness, a place where people are safe and still, where fires burn in hearths and windows glow softly. The train passes them all, one by one, neither hurrying nor lingering, maintaining its steady pace through the countryside. You notice how the snow has changed the world outside. Everything is softer now, gentler. The sharp edges of fences and walls are rounded under their white covering. The fields blend seamlessly into the sky, both the same pale gray-white in the darkness. It's a world made of quiet and stillness, a world that invites rest, that welcomes sleep. The wheels hum their constant song beneath you. It's a sound that never varies, never wavers, as reliable as the rocking motion, as steady as the falling snow. You can feel it through your seat, through your whole body, a gentle vibration that seems to reach into your very bones, loosening them, relaxing them, making you feel heavy and comfortable and utterly at peace. A bridge passes overhead, a brief darkness that covers the window for just a moment. Then it's gone, and the snow-filled night returns. The train emerges on the other side without changing its pace, continuing on through the peaceful countryside as if the bridge had never been there at all. You breathe slowly, deeply, easily. The air in the train is warm and still, neither stuffy nor cold, but perfectly comfortable. Each breath comes without effort, without thought. In and out, matching the rhythm of the train, matching the endless fall of the snow outside. Everything is synchronized now. Everything is part of the same gentle pattern. Your breathing, the rocking, the wheels, the falling snow, all moving together in perfect, peaceful harmony. Through the window, you can see the train's light spreading out across the snow-covered fields, moving with you. A soft glow that illuminates the falling flakes and makes them sparkle briefly before the darkness swallows them again. The light moves when you move, stays with you, a constant companion in the winter night. More trees appear, a long line of them alongside the tracks. They are bare, their branches dark and intricate against the sky, each one holding a layer of snow that makes them look like they've been traced in white ink. The train passes along beside them, and you watch the spaces between the trunks, the way the darkness fills those gaps, the way the snow falls through the branches in its endless, patient descent. The countryside is so quiet out there. No wind disturbs the falling snow. No animals move through the fields. Everything is still, everything is resting. It's as if the whole world has agreed to pause, to be silent, to let the night unfold in peace. And you are part of that silence, part of that stillness, moving through it on this gentle train, safe and warm and drowsy. Your eyelids are growing heavier now. The constant rocking, the soft lights, the hypnotic fall of the snow, all of it is pulling you deeper into relaxation, deeper into that space between waking and sleeping where everything feels distant and soft and unimportant. You let your eyes close for a moment, just to rest them. The darkness behind your eyelids is comfortable, welcoming. But you open them again, not quite ready to let go of the view, not quite ready to stop watching the peaceful winter world slide past. The train curves gently through the landscape, following the contours of the land. You feel the slight shift in the rocking motion as it turns, a subtle change that you wouldn't notice if you weren't so attuned to the rhythm now. The curve straightens out, and the steady back and forth motion returns, unchanged, unchanging. A small station appears in the distance, its platform empty and white with snow. A single lamp glows beside the tracks, casting a pool of yellow light on the accumulated snow. The train doesn't slow as it approaches. This isn't your stop. This isn't anyone's stop, not tonight. The platform slides past your window, empty and peaceful, and then it's gone, receding into the darkness behind the train, the lamp becoming smaller and smaller until it's just another small light in the distance, and then it's gone entirely. The fields continue to roll past, one after another, separated by hedgerows heavy with snow. Sometimes you see the dark shape of a barn standing alone in a field, its roof thick with white. Sometimes you see nothing but the endless white expanse, stretching away until it merges with the sky. The train carries you through all of it at the same gentle, constant pace. Inside the carriage, nothing changes. The lights continue to glow warmly. The other passengers remain quiet and still. The air remains perfectly comfortable, neither too warm nor too cool. Everything is exactly as it should be, exactly as it was, exactly as it will continue to be. There is no urgency here, no need for anything to be different. You rest your head more fully against the seat, letting it support you completely. The cushion is soft against your temple, and you can feel the gentle vibration of the train through it, a faint trembling that seems to travel directly into your skull, massaging away any last bits of tension, any final threads of worry or thought. Your mind is growing quieter, softer, like the snow-covered landscape outside. The snow continues its patient fall. Each flake is unique, each one different from all the others, though you cannot see their individual patterns. They are too small, too far away, too numerous. They are just white specks drifting down through the darkness, countless and infinite, falling and falling and falling without end. There will always be more snow, always more flakes drifting down, as long as this night lasts, as long as this journey continues. Through the darkness, a line of fence posts appears, marching alongside the tracks. Each post is capped with snow, a small white mound on top of the dark wood. The train passes them one by one, and you count them without meaning to, without really thinking about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The numbers drift through your mind like the snowflakes drift through the air, without weight, without significance. Just a gentle procession of thoughts that require no effort, no attention. The rocking has become part of you now. You don't notice it anymore as a separate thing. It's just the way things are, the way the world feels, the natural state of existence. Back and forth, as steady and reliable as your own heartbeat, as constant as the breath moving in and out of your lungs. You are being rocked, gently rocked, endlessly rocked, and it feels perfect, feels right, feels like exactly what you need. Another bridge appears in the distance, a dark arch spanning a small valley. The train approaches it slowly, crosses over it smoothly, and emerges on the other side without a single jolt or jostle. The motion never varies, never changes. You barely notice the bridge at all. It's just another part of the journey, another small detail in the endless procession of small details that make up this peaceful night. The window has fogged slightly at the edges, your breath condensing on the cool glass. The fog creates soft halos around the lights outside, making everything look even more dreamlike, even more gentle. You could reach up and wipe it away, but you don't. It's pleasant this way, this slight blurring of the world outside, this softening of edges and boundaries. In the distance, you can see the dark outline of hills rising against the sky. They are covered in snow, their shapes rounded and soft, like sleeping giants lying beneath white blankets. The train is heading toward them, or perhaps alongside them. It's hard to tell in the darkness. They don't seem to come any closer as the train moves. They remain in the distance, a constant presence on the horizon, steady and unchanging. You shift your position slightly, settling even more deeply into your seat. Every part of your body feels heavy now, pleasantly heavy, relaxed, and loose. Your shoulders have dropped, your jaw has unclenched without you noticing, your hands lie still in your lap. There is no tension anywhere, no tightness, no holding on. You are simply here, simply present, simply being carried through the night on this gentle train. The snow falls past your window in an endless stream. If you try to follow a single flake with your eyes, it quickly becomes lost among all the others, impossible to track, impossible to separate from the general flow. They all blend together into a soft, white motion, a constant downward drift that fills the space outside the window. It's mesmerizing, watching this eternal fall, this patient descent of countless tiny pieces of frozen sky. A lone tree stands in the middle of a field, leafless and dark, its branches spread wide and covered with snow. The train passes it slowly, and you watch it slide by, watch it recede into the distance. It stands there in the middle of the empty field, solitary and peaceful, a silent witness to the passing train, to the falling snow, to the deep winter night. And then it's gone, and there's just the field again, flat and white and empty. The train's wheels continue their steady rhythm. Click-clack, click-clack, click-clack. Or perhaps it's more of a hum, a low constant note that never wavers. It's hard to describe, hard to separate from all the other gentle sounds. The whisper of the train moving through the air, the faint creaks of the carriage, the nearly silent breathing of the other passengers. All of it blends together into a symphony of quiet, a composition made entirely of soft sounds and gentle rhythms. You notice how warm you feel. Not hot, not uncomfortable, but wrapped in a cocoon of perfect warmth that makes your muscles relax even further, makes your eyelids grow even heavier. It's the kind of warmth that invites sleep, that makes you want to curl up and drift away. But you're already as comfortable as you can be, already perfectly positioned, already feeling the pull of sleep like a gentle tide. Outside, the landscape continues to unfold in the darkness. More fields, more trees, more small glimpses of the sleeping countryside. A wooden gate appears in a hedgerow, and then it's gone. A small shed stands at the edge of a field, and then it too slides past and vanishes into the night behind you. Everything comes and goes, nothing stays, nothing lasts, except the train's steady motion forward, the constant rocking, the endless fall of the snow. The lights inside the train create reflections on the window glass, and you can see your own face there, ghostly and transparent, superimposed over the dark winter landscape. Your eyes look sleepy in the reflection, half-closed, peaceful. You look like someone who is ready for rest, someone who is letting go, someone who is surrendering to the gentle rhythms of the journey. Another village appears in the distance, slightly larger than the last one. More houses, more windows glowing softly in the darkness. A street lamp illuminates a small square, showing benches covered in snow, a monument of some kind, a fountain that has been shut off for the winter. The train passes through the outskirts of the village without stopping, carrying you past silent houses where people are sleeping in their beds, warm and safe, dreaming whatever dreams come on winter nights. The village falls away behind you, and the open countryside returns. The snow has accumulated more deeply now, you notice. The fields are smoother, the fences more buried, everything softer and rounder under the growing blanket of white. The snow continues to fall, adding to the depth, grain by grain, flake by flake, in a process so slow and patient that it's impossible to see it happening, only to notice the result. You breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. Your breath has slowed down considerably, become deeper and more regular. You're barely aware of it now, barely conscious of the rise and fall of your chest. It happens by itself, automatically, perfectly synchronized with the rocking of the train, with the rhythm of the wheels, with the steady fall of the snow outside. A cluster of evergreen trees appears, dark and conical against the white landscape. They hold their snow differently than the bare trees, creating thick white layers on each branch that make them look like they're made of frosting, like they're decorations rather than living things. The train passes them slowly, and you watch the way the snow has settled in their branches, perfectly still, perfectly placed, as if arranged by careful hands. The darkness is absolute beyond the reach of the train's lights. You cannot see the stars tonight, hidden behind the clouds that are releasing all this snow. You cannot see the moon. There is only the darkness, complete and total, a soft black blanket that covers everything beyond the small pool of light that moves with the train. And within that pool of light, the snow falls and falls, endlessly patient, endlessly gentle. Your thoughts are becoming slower, more diffuse, like the snow dissolving on the window glass. They arise and fade away without much substance, without much importance. A stray memory, a vague wondering, a formless feeling, all of it drifts through your mind and disappears, leaving no trace, requiring no attention. Your mind is growing as quiet as the landscape outside, as still as the sleeping countryside. The train rocks you gently, back and forth, back and forth. The motion is so constant now that it feels like it's always been this way, like the train has always been moving through this winter night, like you've always been sitting here by this window, watching the snow fall, feeling the perfect warmth, drifting in this peaceful space between waking and sleeping. A frozen pond appears beside the tracks, its surface smooth and white, indistinguishable from the fields around it except for its perfect flatness. The train passes it slowly, and you see how the snow has covered it completely, hiding the ice beneath, creating a seamless white expanse. No one is skating there tonight. No one is there at all. It's just a still, frozen surface in the darkness, peaceful and empty. Inside the carriage, one of the other passengers shifts in their seat, and you hear the soft rustle of fabric. Then silence returns. Nothing else moves. Nothing else makes a sound. The other passengers might all be sleeping now, you think. You might be the only one still awake, still watching the snow fall, still feeling the gentle rocking of the train. But even that doesn't matter. Even that is just another soft thought that drifts through your mind and fades away. The snow has erased all the details of the landscape now. You can no longer see the individual furrows in the fields, the separate stones in the walls, the particular shapes of the hills. Everything has been smoothed over, simplified, reduced to gentle curves and soft shadows. The world has become abstract, minimal, like a painting made with just a few colors, white and black and shades of gray, all blending softly together in the darkness. You let your eyes close again. This time you keep them closed a little longer, resting in the darkness behind your eyelids. You can still feel the rocking, still hear the hum of the wheels, still sense the train moving through the night. You don't need to see it to know it's happening. The motion tells you everything, the sound tells you everything. You are traveling, you are moving, you are being carried gently through the winter darkness. When you open your eyes again, nothing has changed. The snow still falls, the train still rocks, the warm light still glows softly overhead. More fields pass by, more trees, more small glimpses of the peaceful countryside sleeping under its white blanket. A barn, a fence, a cluster of bushes, they all appear and slide past and disappear, one after another in an endless, gentle procession. Your body feels very heavy now, sinking into the seat, becoming part of the train itself. Your head rests against the cushion, your hands lie still, your legs are relaxed and loose. There is no discomfort anywhere, no ache, no tension. Just a pleasant, heavy warmth that makes you feel like you could stay here forever, like you never need to move again, like this journey could continue on and on through an endless winter night, and you would be perfectly content. The train follows its path through the darkness. You don't know where you're going, and it doesn't matter. You don't know how long you've been traveling, and that doesn't matter either. There is only this moment, this gentle rocking, this warm light, this falling snow. Past and future have faded away, leaving only the present, only now, only this peaceful, perfect instant that seems to stretch on forever. More snow falls past the window. More fields roll by in the darkness. The train continues its steady journey, carrying you deeper into the winter night, deeper into the peaceful countryside, deeper into the quiet stillness that surrounds you on all sides. The wheels hum, the carriage rocks, the lights glow softly, and you rest in your seat, warm and safe and calm. A stone bridge appears, old and sturdy, its arch covered with snow. The train crosses over a small stream, frozen and hidden beneath the snow, invisible in the darkness. You feel the slight change in the sound of the wheels as they cross the bridge, a subtle shift in tone that lasts only a moment before the regular rhythm returns. And then the bridge is behind you, and there are only fields again, stretching away into the night. Your breathing is very slow now, very deep, very peaceful. Each breath comes easily, without effort, flowing in and out like a tide, like waves on a distant shore, gentle and rhythmic and constant. You are so relaxed, so comfortable, so completely at ease. There is nothing to worry about, nothing to think about, nothing to do except sit here and breathe and feel the gentle rocking of the train. The snow continues to fall, endlessly patient, endlessly gentle. It has been falling for hours perhaps, or maybe only minutes. Time has become strange and elastic, stretching and compressing in ways you can't quite track. But it doesn't matter. The snow falls regardless of time, regardless of anything. It falls because it falls, simple and inevitable and beautiful in its simplicity. You watch the flakes drift past the window, each one caught briefly in the light before disappearing into the darkness. They seem to fall so slowly, hanging in the air, floating more than falling, like they're in no hurry to reach the ground. And maybe they're not. Maybe they're content just to drift through the cold night air, to dance in the train's light, to be part of this gentle winter night. The countryside stretches on, revealed in fragments as the train moves through it. A gate, a wall, a tree, a field, they all blend together into a continuous experience of quiet motion, of peaceful traveling, of gentle progress through the sleeping landscape. Nothing dramatic happens, nothing exciting occurs. It's just the steady, calm continuation of the journey, one moment flowing into the next, each one very much like the last, all of them part of the same peaceful whole. Inside the train, the warmth surrounds you like a blanket. You can feel it on your face, on your hands, soaking through your clothes and warming your skin. It's such a comforting feeling, this warmth, especially knowing how cold it must be outside, how bitter the winter air, how frozen the ground beneath the snow. But you are safe from all of that, protected by the train's walls, held in this cocoon of comfort and peace. Your eyes are closing again, staying closed longer this time. The darkness behind your eyelids is soft and welcoming, and you feel yourself sinking into it, letting it hold you, letting yourself drift. The rocking continues, the humming continues, everything continues just as it has been, just as it will be. You are being carried, gently carried, safely carried through the winter night. When you open your eyes once more, the snow is still falling, the fields are still passing by, the train is still rocking gently beneath you. A small copse of trees appears and slides past. A low stone wall runs alongside the tracks for a while, then angles away and disappears. The landscape continues to unfold, quiet and peaceful and endlessly patient. You notice how the snow on the window ledge has grown deeper. It's a small drift now, built up flake by flake, grain by grain over the course of the journey. It's perfectly white, perfectly clean, unmarked by any touch or disturbance. Just pure snow, accumulated slowly in the shelter of the window frame, a small evidence of the journey's passage, of the time that has flowed by while you've been sitting here, watching and rocking and breathing. The train curves again, gently, following the contours of the land. The change in direction is so gradual that you barely notice it, just a slight shift in the angle of the view outside your window, a small alteration in the pattern of the rocking. And then it straightens out again, and everything returns to the way it was, steady and constant and unchanging. More minutes pass, or perhaps more hours. There's no way to tell and no need to know. The journey continues at its own pace, unhurried and inevitable, and you continue with it, relaxed and peaceful and deeply, deeply comfortable. Your eyes close again, and this time you let them stay closed, let yourself rest in the gentle darkness, let the rocking carry you wherever it's carrying you. The snow falls outside, softly coating the sleeping countryside. The train moves through the night, following its rails through the winter darkness. The wheels hum their constant song, and you rest in your seat, warm and safe, rocked gently, carried peacefully, drifting between waking and sleep as the long, quiet journey continues on through the endless winter night. The train rocks you gently, steadily, constantly, back and forth, back and forth. The snow falls and falls. The darkness holds everything softly. The warmth surrounds you. And the journey continues, peaceful and calm, on and on through the quiet winter countryside, with no end in sight, no destination that matters, only the gentle, eternal now of this moment, this rocking, this peace. Story 2, the night train to nowhere in particular. You board the train at a small station you don't quite remember the name of. The platform is covered in fresh snow, undisturbed except for your own footprints leading to the train door. You step up into the warm carriage, and the door closes softly behind you with a gentle hiss. The sound is quiet, final, like the closing of a book. You are inside now, and the cold is outside, and that is how it will be for the duration of this journey. The carriage is nearly empty. Just a few passengers scattered here and there, each one sitting alone, each one quiet and still. You walk slowly down the aisle, feeling the slight give of the floor beneath your feet, hearing the soft creak of the boards. The lights overhead are dim, casting everything in a warm, golden glow that reminds you of old photographs, of memories from long ago. You choose a seat by the window, halfway down the carriage, and settle yourself into it. The seat is upholstered in dark fabric worn soft by years of passengers. It yields to your weight, conforming to your body, supporting you in all the right places. You lean back and feel your muscles begin to release, to let go of whatever tension they've been carrying. The window beside you is large, stretching from just above the floor to well above your head, offering a wide view of the winter world outside. The train hasn't moved yet. You sit in stillness, waiting, watching the platform through the glass. The station is quiet. A single lamp post stands near the edge of the platform, its light creating a cone of illumination in which snowflakes swirl and dance. They fall steadily, thickly, accumulating on the platform bench, on the station sign, on the edges of the rails. No one else is waiting. No one else is boarding. It's just you and the few other silent passengers, and the snow and the waiting. Then, without announcement, without any whistle or signal that you can hear, the train begins to move. It starts so gradually that you're not sure at first if you're moving or if the station is moving, sliding backward past your window. But no, it's you. The train is carrying you away, pulling you gently into motion, into the beginning of the journey. The platform slides past, slow as honey, slow as dreams. The lamp post glides by. The station building, small and dark, recedes into the snowy night behind you. The movement is so smooth, so gentle. There is no jolt, no lurch, just a seamless transition from stillness to motion. The train rocks slightly as it moves, a subtle back and forth motion that you feel more than see. It's a comforting rhythm, like being rocked in a cradle, like the gentle sway of a boat on calm water. Your body adjusts to it immediately, accepting it, moving with it. Outside your window, the last lights of the station fade into the distance and disappear, and then there is only the darkness of the countryside and the falling snow. The snow is everywhere, filling your view, countless flakes descending through the night. They look silver in the darkness, catching what little light there is, starlight perhaps, or the reflected glow from the train's windows. Each flake follows its own meandering path downward, tumbling and turning, never rushing, never hurrying. The train picks up speed, but only slightly. It never moves fast. It maintains a steady, measured pace that feels timeless and unhurried. There is no sense of racing toward anything, no urgency in the motion. The train simply moves because that is what trains do, following the rails laid out before it, going wherever they lead, patient and methodical and calm. You turn your attention to the landscape passing by outside. It's difficult to see much in the darkness, but gradually your eyes adjust, learning to read the subtle variations in the blackness. You can make out the shapes of fields stretching away on both sides of the tracks, their surfaces smooth and white under the snow. The fields seem to go on forever, rolling gently into the distance, disappearing into the darkness and the falling snow. Occasionally, a tree appears, standing alone in the whiteness. The trees are bare, leafless, their dark trunks and branches stark against the pale ground. Snow has settled on every branch, outlining them in white, making intricate patterns against the sky. Each tree is different, some tall and straight, some bent and gnarled, some with branches that reach upward and some with branches that droop down toward the earth. The train passes them one by one, and each one holds your attention for a moment before sliding away into the darkness behind you. The rocking continues, constant and soothing. Back and forth, back and forth. You can feel it in your whole body now, a gentle swaying that seems to loosen your joints, to soften your bones. Your head rocks slightly with the motion, and you let it, not resisting, not trying to hold yourself rigid. It's easier to just move with the train, to become part of its rhythm, to surrender to its gentle momentum. Inside the carriage, everything is quiet. You can hear the low hum of the train's wheels on the rails, a steady drone that never varies in pitch or volume. It's a sound that seems to come from below you, from the very foundation of the train, traveling up through the floor and the seats and into your body. You can feel it as much as hear it, a vibration that resonates in your chest, in your bones, making you part of the train's machinery, part of its forward motion. The warmth inside the carriage is perfect. Not too hot, not stuffy, but just warm enough to make you feel enveloped and protected. The air is still, undisturbed by any drafts or currents. It holds you gently, like water holds a swimmer, supporting you without effort. You can feel the warmth on your face, on your hands where they rest in your lap. It seeps through your clothing, reaching your skin, spreading through your body like liquid comfort. Through the window, a fence line appears, running parallel to the tracks. The fence posts are old and weathered, some leaning at slight angles, all of them capped with snow. Wire stretches between them, sagging slightly, decorated with small accumulations of snow at regular intervals where the flakes have caught and held. The fence runs alongside the train for a long while, a constant companion in the darkness, and then it angles away, crossing a field and disappearing into the snowy night. You notice how the snowflakes look as they fall past your window. Close to the glass, you can see them more clearly, can make out their individual forms for just an instant before they tumble past and are gone. They are small and delicate, intricate beyond imagining. Some are clustered together, clumping in small groups. Others fall alone, spinning slowly as they descend. All of them are white, pure white, like fragments of clouds, like pieces of the sky itself coming down to earth. The train passes through a small cutting where the land rises slightly on both sides of the tracks. For a moment, The view from your window is filled with the snow-covered slope, close enough that you could almost reach out and touch it if the glass weren't there. You can see the texture of the snow on the slope, can see how it's drifted in some places and lies smooth in others. Tufts of grass poke through here and there, dark against the white. And then the cutting falls away and the open fields return, stretching into the darkness once more. Your breathing has slowed. You notice this without really thinking about it, the way you might notice the ticking of a clock after sitting in a room for a while. Each breath comes deep and easy, filling your lungs completely, then releasing slowly completely before the next breath begins. There's a pause between each breath, a moment of perfect stillness, and in that pause you feel utterly at peace, utterly calm. Another passenger coughs somewhere behind you, a quiet sound that barely disturbs the silence. You don't turn to look. It doesn't seem important. Everyone here is lost in their own quiet world, their own thoughts or dreams or memories. You are all together in this carriage, sharing this journey, but each of you is also alone, wrapped in your own private cocoon of warmth and stillness. The landscape outside continues to unfold, revealed in fragments. A small bridge appears, old stone covered in snow, arching over a frozen stream that you can barely see in the darkness. The train crosses it smoothly, and you hear the slight change in the sound of the wheels, a brief hollow echo that lasts only a second before the regular rhythm returns. The bridge falls away behind you, and there are only fields again, white and quiet and endless. You rest your head against the window frame, feeling the cool glass against your temple. The contrast is pleasant. The warmth of the train and the coolness of the glass, both sensations existing together, neither one uncomfortable. Through the glass you can feel the faint vibration of the train's movement, a gentle trembling that travels from the rails up through the wheels and the chassis and the walls, reaching you here in your seat by the window. The snow continues to fall without pause, without variation. It might have been falling for hours before you boarded the train, and it might continue for hours after you reach wherever you're going. Or perhaps it will fall forever, endlessly, covering the entire world in a blanket of white, erasing all boundaries and distinctions, making everything soft and quiet and still. The thought is a peaceful one, and it drifts through your mind without catching on anything, without creating any ripple of concern or worry. A farmhouse appears in the distance, so far away that it's just a small dark shape against the white fields, with a few tiny golden rectangles that might be windows. Smoke rises from what might be a chimney, a thin dark line against the falling snow. The train carries you past it, and the farmhouse gradually recedes, becoming smaller and smaller until it's just a memory, until you're not quite sure if you really saw it or if you imagined it. The train rocks you gently, endlessly, patiently. The motion never changes, never speeds up or slows down. It's as constant as the falling snow, as reliable as the darkness itself. You could set your heartbeat to this rhythm, could synchronize every part of yourself to this gentle back and forth sway. In fact, maybe you already have. Maybe your body has already learned this rhythm and claimed it as its own. Outside, the snow has accumulated more deeply on the landscape. The fields are smoother now, the fences more buried, the trees holding heavier burdens of white on their branches. Everything is being slowly erased, slowly simplified, reduced to essential shapes and forms. Detail is disappearing beneath the patient accumulation of snow, leaving only the basic geometry of the land. The horizontal line of the fields, the vertical lines of the trees, the gentle curves of the hills in the distance. You shift slightly in your seat, finding an even more comfortable position. The fabric is soft against your cheek as you lean your head more fully against the window frame. Your hands rest loosely in your lap, fingers relaxed and still. Your legs are extended slightly, your feet resting flat on the floor, feeling the gentle vibration of the train through the soles of your shoes. Every part of you is supported, every part of you is comfortable, every part of you is at rest. The darkness outside is complete except where the train's light touches it. Beyond that small circle of illumination, the world is invisible, hidden behind layers of darkness and falling snow. You cannot see the horizon, cannot tell where the earth ends and the sky begins. Everything merges together in the darkness, becoming one continuous field of black punctuated by the endless white descent of the snow. Inside the train, the warm light continues to glow softly from fixtures mounted along the ceiling. The light is old-fashioned, yellower than modern lighting, softer and more forgiving. It creates shadows in the corners of the carriage, gentle gradations from light to dark that make the space feel cozy and enclosed, safe and protected. You are inside this warm space, surrounded by this gentle light, held by this rocking motion, and nothing can reach you here, nothing can disturb you. More trees pass by outside, a small grove of them clustered together. They stand close to each other, their branches intermingling above, creating a dark canopy even in winter when they have no leaves. The snow has settled in the spaces between their branches, creating patterns of white on black, light on dark. The train passes them slowly, and you watch each tree appear and slide by and disappear, one after another, a procession of silent witnesses to your journey. Your eyelids are growing heavy. They droop slightly, half closing, making your view of the outside world softer and more blurred. The falling snow becomes streaks of white against the darkness. The landscape becomes suggestions of shape rather than clear forms. It's a pleasant blurring, a softening of reality that makes everything feel more dreamlike, more distant, less solid. The wheels hum beneath you, a sound so constant that it becomes almost like silence, like the absence of sound rather than sound itself. Your ears have adjusted to it now, have learned to treat it as background, as the neutral baseline against which all other sounds are measured. The occasional creak of the carriage, the faint rustle of another passenger shifting position. These sounds stand out against the hum, brief and isolated, before fading back into the general quietness. A small wooden shed appears beside the tracks, its roof heavy with snow. The door hangs slightly open, revealing darkness inside. What is it for? Who put it there? The questions arise briefly and then fade away unanswered. The shed slides past and is gone, disappearing into the night behind the train, and you'll never know its purpose, never know its story. It was just there, briefly in your life, briefly visible, and now it's gone forever. The snow falls and falls and falls. There seems to be no end to it, no bottom to the clouds above that are releasing these countless flakes. The sky is a factory of snow, endlessly productive, endlessly generous, sending down its white offerings to cover the sleeping earth. And you watch it fall, watch it tumble through the darkness, watch it accumulate on every surface outside the warm train. Your thoughts are slowing down, becoming more spread out, with longer pauses between them. A thought arises, something about where you're going, or where you've been, or what day it is, and then it drifts away before you can quite grasp it, before you can quite form it into anything coherent. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Thoughts don't seem very important right now. The rocking is important. The warmth is important. The falling snow is important. But thoughts can wait. The train passes through a tunnel of trees, their snow-laden branches arching over the tracks from both sides. For a few moments, your view is filled with the intricate patterns of branches and snow, dark and light intertwining. It's like passing through a cathedral of trees, a natural architecture of wood and winter. And then the trees fall away, and the open fields return, and the sky is above you again, invisible behind its blanket of clouds. You notice how your body has settled into the seat, how you've sunk into it, become part of it. There's no separation anymore between you and the train. You are the train, or the train is you, or you're both part of the same thing. This journey through the winter night, this gentle progress through the sleeping countryside, this endless rocking motion that has no beginning and no end. A stone wall appears, old and tumble down, running across a field. Parts of it have collapsed, and those parts are just mounds of snow now, barely distinguishable from the field itself. The parts still standing are outlined in white, each stone capped with its own small drift. The wall runs to the horizon and disappears into the darkness, going somewhere you'll never see, enclosing something you'll never know. The warmth inside the carriage seems to be increasing, or perhaps you're just noticing it more. It's a drowsy warmth, the kind that makes your limbs feel heavy and your eyes want to close. It's the warmth of being under blankets on a cold morning, the warmth of sitting by a fire after coming in from the snow. It soaks into you, penetrates deep into your muscles and bones, making everything soft and loose and relaxed. Your breathing has become so slow and deep that you're barely aware of it anymore. It happens by itself, automatically, your body knowing exactly what to do without any instruction from your conscious mind. In and out, each breath a slow tide, each breath carrying you deeper into relaxation, deeper into peace. The landscape continues to pass by in the darkness. More fields, more fences, more solitary trees standing in the whiteness. Sometimes a hill rises in the distance, a darker shape against the dark sky. Sometimes the land is perfectly flat, stretching away to an invisible horizon. The train moves through all of it at the same steady pace, neither hurrying nor lingering, simply progressing forward because that is what it does, that is what it has always done. Another small station appears, its platform empty and white, a waiting room with dark windows, a bench buried in snow. The train doesn't slow as it approaches. You're not stopping here. No one is getting on or off. The platform slides past your window, pristine and abandoned, and then it's gone, left behind in the night, and there are only fields again. You let your eyes close all the way now. The darkness behind your eyelids is warm and soft, like velvet, like the inside of a cocoon. You can still hear the hum of the wheels, still feel the rocking of the train, still sense the warmth surrounding you. You don't need to see to know that the snow is still falling, that the fields are still passing by, that the journey is continuing exactly as it has been. The train rocks you in the darkness, back and forth, back and forth. The motion is everything now, the only thing that matters, the only thing that exists. You are being rocked like a child, like a baby, safe and warm and completely at peace. The world outside could be anything or nothing. It doesn't matter. All that matters is this rocking, this warmth, this gentle motion through the winter night. When you open your eyes again, after a few seconds or a few minutes or perhaps longer, the snow is still falling, the fields are still passing, the train is still moving through the darkness. Nothing has changed. Everything is exactly as it was, exactly as it will continue to be. The journey goes on, patient and calm, carrying you through the endless winter countryside. A river appears beside the tracks, or perhaps it's a canal. It's frozen solid, its surface covered with snow, indistinguishable from the fields around it except for its straightness, the way it cuts through the landscape in a definite line. The train follows it for a while, the tracks running parallel to the frozen water. You can see the shapes of reeds poking through the snow along the bank, dark stalks standing in clusters, perfectly still in the windless night. The rocking continues, gentle and endless. Your body has completely adapted to it now, has integrated it into every cell, every fiber. When the train rocks, you rock. When the train sways, you sway. There is no resistance, no holding back, just complete surrender to the motion, complete acceptance of the rhythm. More trees pass by outside. More snow falls. More moments flow past like the landscape itself, each one very much like the last, each one part of the continuous stream of now that makes up this journey. Your mind has grown very quiet, very still. Thoughts barely form anymore, and when they do, they're wispy and insubstantial, like the snowflakes themselves, appearing for just an instant before dissolving into nothing. The warmth wraps around you like a blanket, like gentle arms holding you safe. Your eyelids are so heavy now, so very heavy. They want to close again, want to shut out the sight of the falling snow and the dark fields and let you rest in the warm darkness behind them. And maybe you'll let them. Maybe you'll close your eyes and simply listen to the hum of the wheels, simply feel the rocking of the train, simply drift in this perfect moment of peace. A barn appears in a field, its roof thick with snow. A weather vane on top points in some direction, north or south or east or west, you can't tell in the darkness. The barn is dark, silent, all its animals inside or perhaps none at all, just an empty structure standing in the winter night. The train passes it slowly, and it recedes into the distance, becoming smaller and smaller, and then it's gone. The snow continues its patient descent. Flake after flake after flake, countless and infinite, each one following its own path down through the darkness. They land on the fields, on the trees, on the roofs of distant houses, on everything and everywhere, slowly burying the world in white, slowly transforming the landscape into a simplified version of itself, soft and smooth and quiet. You are so relaxed now, so completely at ease. Every muscle in your body has released its tension. Your jaw is loose, your shoulders are dropped, your hands lie open and still in your lap. You are simply here, simply present, simply being carried through the night on this gentle train, asking nothing, needing nothing, perfectly content with exactly this moment, exactly this experience. The train rocks you gently. The snow falls softly. The darkness holds everything in its quiet embrace. And the journey continues on through the winter countryside, through the endless night, with no destination that matters, no arrival that's important, only this. This rocking, this warmth, this peace, this gentle progress through the sleeping world, on and on and on, as the snow falls and the wheels hum and you drift deeper and deeper into the perfect stillness of this moment, this night, this journey without end. Story 3. The late train through the snowfall. You find yourself on a train platform as evening deepens into night. The platform is nearly deserted, just you and one or two other figures standing in the glow of the station lamps. Snow is falling, has been falling for hours perhaps, coating everything in a thick layer of white. The platform bench is buried. The station sign is outlined in snow. Your footprints from when you walked here are already filling in, softening, disappearing. The train arrives so quietly that you almost don't notice it at first. It simply appears out of the snowy darkness, gliding into the station without any dramatic announcement, without whistle or bell. Just the soft hiss of brakes, the gentle sigh of doors opening. The windows glow with warm yellow light, inviting and soft against the blue-white of the snowy evening. You step forward and board, climbing the few steps into the warmth of the carriage. Inside, the air is still and comfortable. The temperature is perfect, warm enough to make you feel immediately safe from the cold outside, but not so warm as to be stifling or uncomfortable. It's the kind of warmth that makes you want to settle in, to stay a while, to let your body relax and your mind grow quiet. You walk slowly down the aisle between the seats, feeling the gentle give of the floor beneath your feet, hearing the soft sounds of the carriage, tiny creaks, the whisper of the heating system, the breathing of other passengers. The carriage is sparsely populated. A few people sit here and there, each one absorbed in their own world. An elderly woman near the front gazes out the window. A young man several rows back has his eyes closed, his head tilted against the seat. No one speaks. No one looks up as you pass. There's a quality of shared solitude here, of being alone together, each person wrapped in their own quiet bubble of thought or rest, or simply being. You choose a seat on the right side of the train, next to a large window that offers an expansive view of the world outside. The seat is upholstered in fabric that's worn soft with age, faded to a gentle blue-gray that reminds you of winter skies. You settle into it and feel it conform to your shape, supporting you in all the right places. The cushion is thick and comfortable. The back of the seat is just the right height. You let yourself sink into it, let your weight be fully supported, let the seat hold you. The train sits still for another moment, and in that moment you have time to notice the details around you. The overhead lights are dim, casting a golden glow that doesn't quite reach the corners of the carriage. There are small reading lights above some seats, though none of them are turned on. The windows are large, extending almost from floor to ceiling, offering generous views of the snowy world outside. The aisle is narrow, carpeted in a dark color that muffles footsteps. Everything about the carriage feels old-fashioned, comfortable, well-worn, and reliable. Then, without any announcement, the train begins to move. The transition from stillness to motion is so gradual that you feel it more than see it. The platform starts to slide backward past your window, slowly, smoothly, like the unwinding of a film reel. The station lights drift by. the edge of the platform passes, and then you're moving away from the station, out into the open countryside, and the journey has begun. The motion of the train is gentle and rhythmic. There's a slight rocking from side to side, a subtle sway that you feel in your whole body. It's not uncomfortable, quite the opposite. It's soothing, like the rocking of a ship on calm water, like being cradled in gentle arms. Your body adjusts to it immediately, finding its balance, moving with the rhythm rather than against it. Back and forth, a motion as old as trains themselves, as old as travel, as old as the human need to be soothed and comforted. Outside your window, the snow is falling steadily. Thick flakes drift down through the darkness, illuminated by the train's lights. Each flake is visible for just a moment as it tumbles past, and then it's gone, replaced by another and another and another in an endless procession. The snow seems to fall more thickly here than it did at the station, or perhaps you're just more aware of it now, more able to see the individual flakes against the darkness of the countryside. The landscape outside is difficult to see clearly. It's fully night now, and the darkness is deep and complete. You can make out shapes and suggestions more than details. The dark bulk of a tree, the pale expanse of a snow-covered field, the line of a fence running parallel to the tracks. Everything is simplified by the darkness and the snow, reduced to basic forms, to essential shapes. It's a landscape of shadows and suggestions, of things half seen and half imagined. The train picks up speed gradually, but it never goes very fast. It maintains a steady, measured pace that feels timeless. There's no sense of rushing, no urgency in the motion. The train simply moves forward because that is its nature, following the rails that have been laid out for it, going wherever they lead. You settle more deeply into your seat, feeling the gentle vibration of the train's movement through the cushion, through your whole body. The wheels make a constant sound against the rails, a rhythmic clicking that becomes a kind of music, a percussion section for the symphony of the journey. Click-clack, click-clack, click-clack. Or perhaps it's more of a steady hum, a low note that never varies, that simply continues on and on, providing a foundation for all the other small sounds of the train. The faint creaks of the carriage, the whisper of air moving through unseen vents, the soft breathing of your fellow passengers. You rest your head against the window frame and feel the coolness of the glass against your temple. The contrast between the warmth of the train and the coolness of the window is pleasant, refreshing. Through the glass, you can feel a faint vibration, the trembling of the train as it moves along the rails. It's a subtle sensation, barely noticeable, but it's there. A reminder that you are in motion, that you are traveling, that you are being carried through the winter night. The snow outside continues to fall without pause. It accumulates on everything, on the fields that stretch away into the darkness, on the fences and gates and walls, on the branches of the trees that stand here and there in the landscape. Everything is being slowly buried, slowly transformed into a softer, rounder version of itself. Sharp edges are disappearing beneath curves of snow. Details are being erased. The world is becoming simpler, quieter, more uniform. Inside the train, the warmth wraps around you like a cocoon. You can feel it on your face, on your hands where they rest in your lap, soaking through your clothes and reaching your skin. It's a gentle warmth, not aggressive or overwhelming, but steady and reliable. The kind of warmth that makes your muscles want to relax, that makes your eyelids want to grow heavy, that makes you want to simply sit and breathe and let time pass without counting it or measuring it or worrying about it. The train rocks you gently as it moves. Back and forth, side to side, a motion so constant and regular that it quickly becomes part of your experience, part of your awareness. You don't think about it after a while, you just feel it, accept it, move with it. Your body learns the rhythm without any conscious effort, finds its balance, synchronizes itself with the train's gentle sway. Through the window, a small house appears in the distance, its windows glowing warm yellow against the snowy landscape. It's far away, too far to see any details, just a shape and a few points of light. But those lights are welcoming somehow, comforting. They speak of other people, of warmth and shelter, of lives being lived in the depths of this winter night. The train carries you past, and the house gradually fades into the distance behind you, its lights becoming smaller and dimmer until they're just tiny sparks in the darkness, and then they're gone entirely. You breathe slowly, deeply, letting your breath find its natural rhythm. In and out, each breath coming easily without effort or thought. The air in the train is clean and still, neither too dry nor too humid, just right for breathing, just right for resting. Each breath you take seems to carry you deeper into relaxation, deeper into the peaceful state that's settling over you like the snow settling over the countryside outside. The landscape continues to unfold in fragments outside your window. A tree appears, standing alone in a field, its bare branches stark against the pale snow. The train passes it slowly, and you watch it slide by. Watch the snow that's accumulated on every branch and twig, making intricate patterns of white on dark. And then it's gone, and there's just the field again, white and empty and peaceful. A fence runs alongside the tracks for a while, its posts barely visible above the accumulated snow. The wire between the posts sags slightly, weighed down by snow and ice. The train follows the fence line for what feels like a long time, the posts appearing one by one in the train's lights, and then sliding past and disappearing into the darkness behind. The fence is your companion for this portion of the journey, a constant presence just outside your window, and then it angles away across a field and is gone. Your eyelids are beginning to feel heavy, not unbearably so, not demanding that you close them, but just slightly weighted, slightly drowsy. It's a pleasant feeling, this gentle pull towards sleep, this soft invitation to let your eyes rest, to stop watching for a while and simply be. You let your eyes half close, and the view outside becomes softer, more blurred. The falling snow becomes streaks of white against the darkness. The landscape becomes impressions rather than clear images. The rocking continues, steady and unchanging. Back and forth, back and forth. It's hypnotic, this motion, mesmerizing in its constancy. Your whole body has attuned itself to it now. When the train sways to the right, you sway with it. When it rocks back to the left, you flow with that motion too. There's no resistance in you anymore, no holding yourself rigid against the movement. You've surrendered to it completely, become part of it, let yourself be carried by it. Another passenger shifts position somewhere behind you, and you hear the soft rustle of clothing, the small creak of a seat. Then silence returns, broken only by the constant hum of the wheels, the faint sounds of the train's mechanisms, the whisper of the heating system. The silence is comfortable, companionable. No one needs to speak. No one needs to break this peaceful quiet. Everyone here understands that this is a time for rest, for stillness, for letting the journey unfold at its own pace. Outside, the snow falls more thickly now. It's harder to see the landscape through the curtain of falling flakes. Everything is becoming more obscured, more hidden, wrapped in the privacy of the snowfall. You can make out vague shapes in the darkness, the suggestion of a hill, the dark mass of a cluster of trees, the pale expanse of what might be a field or might be a frozen pond or might be something else entirely. The specifics don't matter. What matters is the general sense of the landscape, the feeling of space and openness and winter stillness. The train passes under a bridge, and for just a moment your view is filled with the underside of the structure, old stone or perhaps concrete, dark and damp. And then you're through, and the snowy countryside returns, and the bridge is behind you, already fading into the past, already becoming part of the accumulation of moments that make up this journey. Your breathing has slowed considerably. Each breath is deep and full, expanding your lungs completely, and then releasing slowly, emptying completely before the next breath begins. There's a pause between breaths, a moment of perfect stillness when you're neither breathing in nor breathing out, when you're simply existing in a state of perfect suspension. Those moments feel very peaceful, very calm, as if time itself has paused along with your breath. The warmth of the train seems to be increasing, or perhaps you're just sinking deeper into it, becoming more aware of it. It's such a comforting warmth, such a safe feeling. Outside, the winter night is cold and dark and vast. But inside, you are warm and protected and held. The train is a capsule of comfort moving through the cold, a bubble of safety traveling through the darkness, carrying you and the other quiet passengers through the snowy landscape. Through the window, you see a small barn or shed standing in a field. Its roof is heavily laden with snow, sagging slightly under the weight. There's something peaceful about it, something timeless. This simple structure standing alone in the winter night, enduring the snow, waiting for spring. The train carries you past it, and it recedes into the distance, becoming smaller and smaller, and then the falling snow obscures it entirely and it's gone. The train's rhythm continues unchanged. The wheels hum against the rails, the carriage rocks gently, the snow falls outside, and you rest in your seat, warm and comfortable and deeply, deeply relaxed. Your muscles have all released their tension. Your shoulders have dropped. Your jaw is loose. Your hands lie open and still in your lap, palms up, fingers slightly curled, completely at rest. More trees pass by outside, a small group of them clustered together as if for warmth or companionship. Their branches are interlaced above, creating a canopy even in their leafless winter state. Snow has settled in every available space, on the branches, in the crooks where limbs meet trunk, on the rough bark of the trunks themselves. The trees are transformed by the snow, made into sculptures of white and dark, natural art pieces standing in the landscape for no one to see except you, passing by on this train. Your thoughts are slowing down, becoming more sparse, more spread out. There are long stretches now where you're not thinking about anything at all, just existing, just being, just experiencing the warmth and the rocking and the gentle forward motion of the train. When thoughts do arise, they're soft and wispy, like the snowflakes themselves, appearing briefly, floating through your consciousness for a moment, and then dissolving away without leaving any trace. The countryside outside is becoming more hilly now. The train follows the contours of the land, curving gently through valleys, crossing small ravines on bridges you barely notice. The motion changes slightly with these curves, a subtle shift in the rocking pattern, a gentle press to one side or the other as the train follows the bend in the rails. And then it straightens out again, and the regular rhythm returns, and everything continues as before. A small village appears in the distance, its lights scattered across the snowy landscape like fallen stars. The train approaches it slowly, and you can make out the shapes of houses, the spire of a church, the dark rectangles that might be shops or public buildings. But the train doesn't stop. It passes through the outskirts of the village, carrying you past silent houses where people are inside, warm and safe, perhaps eating dinner or watching television or already preparing for bed. The village slides past your window and falls away behind, its lights fading back into the snowy night. The rocking continues, endless and patient, back and forth, back and forth. You've lost track now of how long you've been on this train, how far you've traveled. It could be minutes or hours. The journey has taken on a timeless quality, as if you've always been here, sitting in this seat, watching the snow fall, feeling the gentle motion of the train. Past and future have blurred into irrelevance. There is only now, only this moment, only this peaceful present. Your eyes close all the way now, and you let them stay closed. The darkness behind your eyelids is warm and soft, welcoming and comfortable. You don't need to see the snowy landscape anymore. You can feel the journey continuing in the rocking of the train, in the hum of the wheels, in the warmth surrounding you. The journey is happening whether your eyes are open or closed, and right now, closed feels right, feels good, feels like exactly what you need. The train carries you on through the winter night. You can hear the snow tapping very softly against the window, so softly it's almost inaudible, almost imagined. Tap, tap, tap like gentle fingers, like a whispered message in a language you don't need to understand. The sound is soothing, rhythmic, another layer in the symphony of the journey. The wheels, the rocking, the breathing of passengers, the whisper of the heating system, and now this soft tapping of snow against glass. When you open your eyes again, after how long, you don't know and don't care. The snow is still falling, perhaps even more thickly than before. The world outside is almost completely white now, the darkness pushed back by the sheer volume of falling snow. It's beautiful in a simple, elemental way. Just snow and darkness and the warm light from the train cutting through both, creating a small moving space of visibility in the vast winter night. The train passes a frozen lake or perhaps just a very large pond. You can tell it's water rather than a field by its perfect flatness, by the way it stretches away without any variation or interruption. The surface is completely covered in snow, unmarked by any tracks or disturbances. It's a blank white page in the landscape, empty and pure and peaceful. The train follows along beside it for a while, and then the lake curves away into the darkness and is lost from view. Your body feels very heavy now, pleasantly heavy, like you're sinking into the seat, becoming part of it. The boundary between you and the seat seems to have dissolved somehow. You're not sitting on the seat so much as you're part of it, merged with it, inseparable from it. The seat holds you and you hold the seat, and together you rock gently with the motion of the train, back and forth, in perfect synchronization. The warmth continues to surround you, constant and reliable. It's not just external warmth anymore. It feels like it's coming from inside you as well, radiating outward from your core, meeting the warmth of the train and creating a perfect envelope of comfort. You are warm all the way through, from your skin down to your bones, from your head to your feet. The warmth has reached every part of you, relaxing everything, softening everything. More landscape flows past outside. More fields, more trees, more glimpses of the winter countryside sleeping beneath its blanket of snow. A stone wall appears and disappears. A gate stands open in a fence, leading to nowhere visible in the darkness. A small wooden bridge crosses a stream you cannot see. All of these things appear and slide past and vanish into the darkness behind the train, each one a small moment, a brief image, a fragment of the larger journey. The snow continues to fall, patient and endless. It has covered the world in white, and it continues to add to that covering, flake by flake, grain by grain, in an accumulation so slow and gradual that it's impossible to see it happening, only to notice the result. The drifts grow deeper. The fields become smoother. The trees hold heavier burdens. Everything is being transformed, slowly and inexorably, into a winter wonderland of white and silence. Your breathing is very slow now, very deep, very peaceful. Each breath takes a long time, a long, slow inhale that fills your lungs completely, a pause at the top, a long, slow exhale that empties them completely, a pause at the bottom. The rhythm is hypnotic, meditative, perfectly matched to the rocking of the train. Breath and motion have become one thing, one rhythm, one continuous flow of peaceful existence. The train passes through a small forest, trees pressing close on both sides of the tracks. Their branches reach over the rails, creating a tunnel of white and dark, a corridor of winter. The train moves through this tunnel slowly, steadily, and you watch the branches slide past overhead, watch the snow that's caught in them, watch the way the train's lights illuminate the intricate patterns of bark and snow and shadow. And then the forest falls away, and the open countryside returns, and the branches are gone. Inside the carriage, one of the other passengers stands and walks slowly toward the front of the train, moving with the gentle sway of the motion, hand trailing along the seat backs for balance. You watch them pass, a figure moving through the golden light, and then they're gone through the door at the front of the carriage, and you're alone again with the quiet passengers and the falling snow. The journey continues on through the winter night. The train rocks gently, the wheels hum steadily, the snow falls endlessly. You rest in your seat, warm and comfortable and peaceful, neither fully awake nor fully asleep, but somewhere in between, drifting in that soft space where time moves differently, where thoughts are few and feelings are simple, warmth, comfort, safety, peace. Outside, the landscape has become almost abstract now. There are no clear forms anymore, just suggestions of shapes in the darkness and the snow. Light and dark, white and black, horizontal lines and vertical lines, curves and angles. These are the only distinctions you can make. Everything has been simplified to its essential geometry, reduced to basic elements. And in that simplicity, there is a kind of beauty, a kind of perfection. The train carries you on, kilometer after kilometer, through the endless snowy countryside. You have no idea where you're going, and it doesn't matter. The destination is irrelevant. The journey itself is everything. This warm, gentle, rocking journey through the winter night, this peaceful passage through the falling snow. You could travel like this forever, you think dimly, and be perfectly content. Your eyes close again, and again you let them stay closed. The darkness is so comfortable, so welcoming. You sink into it, let it hold you, let yourself float in its warm depths. The rocking continues, the humming continues, the journey continues. And you drift with it all, peaceful and calm and utterly, completely at rest. The snow falls outside, silent and eternal. The train moves through the night, steady and sure. And you rest in your seat, carried along, warm and safe and deeply, deeply peaceful, as the winter world slides past outside and the gentle rhythm of the rails carries you on and on through the endless, snowy night. Story 4: The Midnight Train in Winter. You step onto the train as the clock somewhere in the station strikes a late hour. The sound is distant, muffled by the falling snow, barely audible. You're not sure what time it is exactly, only that it's deep into the night, that hour when the world seems to hold its breath, when everything is still and quiet and waiting. The platform behind you is empty except for the snow, which has been falling for hours and shows no sign of stopping. The train door closes behind you with a soft sound, sealing you inside the warmth. The difference between outside and inside is immediate and profound. Outside was cold and white and windswept, even though the wind was gentle. Inside is warm and dim and utterly calm. You stand for a moment in the small vestibule between cars, letting your body adjust to the change, feeling the cold drain away from your face and hands, feeling the warmth begin to seep in. You push through the inner door and enter the passenger carriage. It's quiet here, so quiet that your footsteps on the carpeted aisle seem loud, even though you're walking softly. The carriage is old, you can tell, not decrepit or run down, but genuinely old, built in another era when trains were different, when travel was different. The seats are upholstered in a dark fabric, burgundy perhaps, or deep blue. It's hard to tell in the dim light. The overhead fixtures cast pools of warm yellow light that don't quite meet, leaving shadowy spaces between them. There are a few other passengers scattered throughout the carriage, but not many. An older man sits near the middle, his head tilted back, eyes closed, perhaps sleeping. A woman with gray hair sits by a window near the front, her hands folded in her lap, looking out at the snowy night. A younger person, gender indeterminate in the dim light, sits alone near the back, earphones in, face illuminated by the soft glow of a phone screen. No one looks up as you enter. No one acknowledges your presence. Everyone is in their own world, their own private space within the shared space of the carriage. You choose a seat about 2/3 of the way down the carriage, on the left side where the windows face out into the open countryside rather than toward the platform side. The seat cushion gives softly as you sit down, the springs inside it old but still functional, still comfortable. You settle yourself, adjusting your position until everything feels right, and then you lean back and let yourself relax into the seat's embrace. The train hasn't moved yet. It sits still in the station, waiting. For what, you don't know. Perhaps for a signal, perhaps for a scheduled time, perhaps for nothing in particular. The wait is peaceful. There's no impatience in it, no tension. Just a quiet pause before the journey begins, a moment of stillness before the motion starts. You use this time to look around, to notice the details of the carriage. The windows are large, old-fashioned, the kind that might once have opened but are now sealed shut. The glass is slightly wavy, imperfect, the kind of glass that was made by hand long ago. Through it, you can see the station platform, the falling snow illuminated by the station lamps, the empty benches, the closed station building with its dark windows. It's a small station, just a stopping place in the countryside, barely more than a platform and a shelter. Then, without warning or announcement, the train begins to move. There's no whistle, no conductor's call, no mechanical voice over a speaker system. The train simply starts, easing into motion so gradually that for a moment you're not sure if you're moving or if the station is moving, sliding backward away from you. But no, it's you. The train is carrying you forward, away from the platform, away from the small station, out into the snowy countryside beyond. The motion is immediately soothing. The train rocks gently from side to side as it moves, a rhythmic swaying that's as old as railways themselves. Back and forth, a motion that speaks to something deep in the human body, something that remembers being rocked as an infant, being soothed by gentle movement. Your body responds to it without thought, relaxing, settling, letting go of tensions you didn't know you were holding. The sound of the wheels on the rails is a constant presence, a low rumbling hum that comes up through the floor, through your seat, into your body. It's not a loud sound, not jarring or unpleasant, but steady and rhythmic and somehow comforting. It's the sound of travel, of distance being covered, of forward progress through space and time. You can feel it in your bones, this sound, this vibration. It becomes part of you within moments, something your body accepts and incorporates into its experience. Outside the window, the station slides away and disappears, and then there's only the countryside, dark fields covered in snow, stretching away into the blackness. The snow is still falling, thick and steady, visible in the lights that shine from the train. Each flake is illuminated for just an instant as it passes through the beam of light, a tiny spark of white in the darkness, and then it's gone, replaced by another and another and another in an endless procession. The landscape is hard to see clearly in the darkness and the snow. You catch glimpses more than clear views, the dark shape of a tree standing alone, the pale expanse of a field, the angular form of a barn or shed in the distance. Everything is softened by the snow, blurred by the darkness, made dreamlike and indistinct. The world has become a place of shadows and suggestions, of forms half seen and half imagined. The train maintains a steady speed, neither fast nor slow, but somewhere in between. It's a speed that feels right for nighttime, for winter, for travel through sleeping countryside. There's no urgency to it, no sense that the train is trying to get anywhere quickly. It simply moves forward at its own pace, following the rails wherever they lead, patient and unhurried. You settle more deeply into your seat, feeling the cushions support your back, your head, your whole body. The fabric is soft against your cheek as you lean slightly toward the window. The warmth of the carriage surrounds you, a gentle envelope of comfort that makes the cold outside seem very far away, very distant, almost unreal. You're in a warm bubble moving through a cold world, safe and protected and utterly secure. The rocking continues, constant and soothing. Your body has already learned its rhythm, has synchronized with it completely. When the train rocks to the left, you rock with it. When it sways back to the right, you flow with that motion. There's no resistance, no fighting against the movement. You've surrendered to it entirely, become part of it. Let yourself be carried by it wherever it wants to take you. Through the window, you see a small bridge pass overhead, its stone arch briefly visible in the train's lights before the darkness swallows it again. The train emerges on the other side without any change in its motion, without any jolt or bump. The ride is smooth, remarkably smooth for such an old train on such old rails. Everything is gentle, everything is easy, everything flows. The other passengers remain quiet and still. The older man continues to sleep, his head lolling slightly with the motion of the train. The gray-haired woman still gazes out her window, her face peaceful and calm in the dim light. The younger person with the phone has put it away now and sits with closed eyes, head resting against the window. Everyone here understands the nature of this journey, that it's a time for rest, for quiet, for letting go. You turn your attention back to the window, to the snowy night beyond. The snow is falling more heavily now, or perhaps you're just more aware of it, more attuned to its constant descent. The flakes are larger, softer looking, tumbling through the darkness in their endless, patient fall. They land on everything, on the fields, on the trees, on the fences that line the tracks, on every surface in the winter landscape. The world is being buried, gently and gradually, beneath layer upon layer of soft white snow. Your breathing has slowed without you noticing. Each breath comes deep and easy, filling your lungs completely, then releasing slowly, completely, before the next breath begins. The rhythm of your breathing matches the rhythm of the train's rocking, both of them synchronized into one smooth, continuous flow. Breath in as the train rocks left, breath out as it rocks right, over and over, a meditation in motion. The warmth of the carriage seems to increase, or perhaps you're simply sinking deeper into it, becoming more aware of it. It's a drowsy warmth, the kind that makes your eyelids heavy and your limbs feel loose and relaxed. It seeps into your muscles, into your bones, loosening everything, softening everything. You can feel the tension draining out of your shoulders, out of your jaw, out of your hands. Everything is letting go, releasing, surrendering to the warmth and the rocking and the gentle forward motion of the train. A farmhouse appears in the distance, just a dark shape with a few yellow windows glowing against the white landscape. Smoke rises from a chimney, a thin gray line against the falling snow. The train passes it slowly, and you imagine the people inside, warm by their fire, perhaps reading or talking quietly or preparing for bed. The image is comforting, this thought of other people safe in their homes while you travel through the night in your own warm capsule of safety. The house recedes into the distance behind you, its lights growing smaller and dimmer until they vanish entirely into the snowy darkness. And then there's just the countryside again, empty and peaceful and still. The train carries you on, kilometer after kilometer, through the endless winter landscape. Your eyelids are growing heavier. Each blink lasts a little longer, the darkness behind your closed lids becoming more and more inviting. But you don't want to miss the journey, don't want to close your eyes completely yet. So you let them stay half open, half closed, letting the view outside become soft and blurred, letting the falling snow become streaks of white against the darkness, letting everything soften and blur and blend together. The landscape unfolds in pieces outside your window. A line of trees appears, bare branches reaching up into the snowy sky. The train follows alongside them for a while, and you watch the way the snow has settled on every branch and twig, creating delicate white traceries against the darkness. The trees seem peaceful, patient, standing in their winter sleep, waiting for spring to come again. And then the trees fall away and there are just fields again, rolling gently into the distance. The wheels continue their constant song beneath you. The sound never changes, never varies in pitch or volume. It's as reliable as a heartbeat, as steady as breathing, as constant as time itself. You can feel it through your seat, through your whole body, a gentle vibration that resonates in your chest, in your bones, making you part of the train's machinery, part of its forward motion through the night. A stone wall appears beside the tracks, old and weathered, its top edge buried in snow. It runs parallel to the train for a long distance, keeping pace with you, a silent companion in the darkness. Some stones have fallen from the wall, creating gaps that are now filled with snow, making the wall look like a smile with missing teeth. The train follows the wall, follows it for what seems like a very long time, and then the wall turns and angles away across a field and is lost in the falling snow. Inside the carriage, everything remains peaceful and still. The warm light continues to glow softly from the overhead fixtures. The heating system whispers quietly, sending warm air circulating through the space. The other passengers remain motionless, lost in sleep or thought or that quiet space between the two. No one speaks. No one moves. There's only the shared experience of the journey, the collective surrender to the train's gentle motion. You shift slightly in your seat, finding an even more comfortable position. Your body has softened completely now, all the muscles relaxed, all the joints loose. You feel heavy, pleasantly heavy, as if gravity has increased slightly, as if you're sinking into the seat, becoming part of it. The boundary between your body and the cushion beneath you seems to have dissolved. You're not sitting on the seat so much as you're merged with it, inseparable from it. Through the window, the snow continues its endless fall. You try to follow a single flake with your eyes, but it's impossible. There are too many of them, they're too similar, they move too unpredictably. Each flake tumbles on its own path, turning and spinning as it falls, and within seconds you've lost track of the one you were following. It doesn't matter. There are always more flakes, always more snow, falling and falling without end. The train passes through a small cutting where the land rises on either side of the tracks. The walls of the cutting are dark earth and exposed rock, both covered with snow. For a few moments, your view is limited to these close walls, these steep slopes rising up on either side. And then the cutting opens up again, the walls fall away, and the open countryside returns, stretching away into the darkness. Your thoughts are becoming slower, more scattered, more dreamlike. Ideas arise and drift away before you can fully form them. Memories surface briefly and then sink back down into the depths of your mind. Everything is soft and unfocused, like looking at the world through gauze, like thinking through layers of cotton. Your mind is quieting, settling, approaching the stillness of sleep. The rocking continues, endless and patient, back and forth, back and forth. The motion has become so much a part of your experience now that you barely notice it consciously. It's just the way things are, the natural state of existence. To be still would seem strange now. The rocking is normal, is right, is exactly what should be happening. You move with it unconsciously, your body knowing exactly what to do without any input from your conscious mind. Another village appears in the distance, or perhaps it's a small town. It's hard to tell in the darkness and the snow. There are more lights than the last settlement, scattered across the landscape in clusters and lines. The train approaches it slowly, and you can make out the shapes of buildings, the steeple of a church, the lines of streets with their street lamps glowing softly. But again, the train doesn't stop. It passes through the outskirts, carrying you past silent homes and empty streets, and then the town falls away behind you and there's only countryside again. The snow has transformed everything into a uniform whiteness. Fields and roads and frozen streams are all indistinguishable under their covering of snow. Only the vertical elements stand out, trees and walls and fence posts and buildings. Everything horizontal has merged into one smooth white surface, like a blank canvas, like a fresh page waiting to be written on. The world has been simplified, reduced to its most basic forms. You let your eyes close all the way now. The darkness behind your eyelids is warm and soft and welcoming. You can still hear the hum of the wheels, still feel the rocking of the train, still sense the warmth surrounding you. You don't need to see to know that the journey is continuing, that the snow is still falling, that the train is still carrying you through the winter night. All of that is happening whether your eyes are open or closed. The train rocks you gently in the darkness, back and forth, back and forth. Your breathing has become so slow and deep that it's almost imperceptible, just a faint rise and fall of your chest, just a quiet whisper of air moving in and out. Each breath takes a long time, unhurried and peaceful. There's no urgency in breathing, no effort. It simply happens automatically, perfectly, as it always has and always will. When you open your eyes again, after how long, you have no idea, the landscape outside has changed slightly. The fields are hillier now, rolling more dramatically. The train climbs a gentle slope, and you can feel the slight change in the sound of the engine, a subtle shift in pitch as it works a little harder. But the rocking continues unchanged, the motion remains smooth and gentle, and soon the train crests the hill and begins to descend the other side, and everything returns to exactly as it was before. A frozen pond appears beside the tracks, its surface covered with snow, smooth and unblemished. No one has skated there today, no one has walked across it. It's just a perfect white oval in the landscape, serene and untouched. The train passes it slowly, and you watch it recede in the distance, growing smaller and smaller until it's just a pale smudge in the darkness, and then it's gone entirely. The warmth of the carriage continues to embrace you. It's in the air you breathe, on the skin of your face, soaking through your clothes. It's a complete warmth, a total warmth, leaving no part of you untouched. You are warm through and through, from your scalp to your toes, from your skin to your bones. The warmth has permeated every cell, every fiber, every molecule of your being. More trees pass by outside, more fields, more glimpses of the winter countryside sleeping beneath its heavy blanket of snow. A gate stands open in a fence, leading nowhere you can see. A small shed leans slightly to one side, its roof thick with accumulated snow. A cluster of rocks protrudes from a field, dark against the white, like islands in a pale sea. Each thing appears and slides past and vanishes, a brief image in the continuous stream of the journey. Your body feels very heavy now, heavier than you can ever remember feeling. It's as if you weigh twice what you normally weigh, as if gravity has intensified, pulling you down into the seat with irresistible force. But it's not uncomfortable. It's deeply comfortable, this heaviness, this sense of being weighted down, being anchored, being unable and unwilling to move. You are exactly where you need to be, exactly where you want to be, and there's nowhere else in the world you'd rather be than right here, right now, in this warm seat on this gentle train. The snow taps softly against the window, so softly you can barely hear it. Tap, 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 gentle as a whisper, quiet as a secret. It's a sound that blends with all the other sounds: the hum of the wheels, the creak of the carriage, the whisper of the heating system, the soft breathing of sleeping passengers. All of these sounds together create a symphony of quietness, a composition made entirely of gentle, soothing sounds that wrap around you like a blanket. The train curves through the landscape, following the natural contours of the land. You feel the slight shift in the rocking motion as the train leans into the curve, and then it straightens out again and the familiar back and forth rhythm returns. The curve was so gentle, so gradual, that it barely registered. The train never makes sharp turns, never jolts or jerks. Everything is smooth, everything is flowing, everything is easy. A forest appears ahead, dark trees pressing close on both sides of the tracks. The train enters this forest, and the view from your window changes. Instead of open fields stretching into the distance, there are tree trunks close by, their bark dark and rough, their branches reaching overhead to create a canopy of winter wood and snow. The train moves through this tunnel of trees slowly, steadily, and the forest wraps around you, encloses you, creates a sense of being inside rather than outside, of being protected and held. The forest lasts for a long time, or perhaps time is just moving differently now, stretching and compressing in strange ways. Minutes might be hours, or hours might be minutes. There's no way to tell and no need to know. Time has become irrelevant, meaningless, a concept that belongs to another world, another life. Here, on this train, there is only the eternal present, only the continuous now of this moment. And then the forest opens up, and the fields return, and you're back in the open countryside again. The sudden openness is almost startling after the enclosure of the forest. The way the space suddenly expands, the way the darkness suddenly stretches away to an infinite distance. But it's a gentle startling, a soft surprise, nothing that disturbs your deep peace or your profound relaxation. Your eyes are closing again. They're so heavy now, so very heavy. It takes effort to keep them open, and there's no reason to make that effort, no reason to resist the pull of sleep. So you let them close. You let yourself sink into the warm darkness behind your eyelids. You let the rocking carry you deeper and deeper into relaxation, into peace, into that space between waking and sleeping where dreams begin to form and thoughts dissolve into images. The train rocks you in the darkness, back and forth, back and forth. The snow falls outside, silent and eternal. The countryside slides past, invisible now behind your closed eyelids, but still present, still there, still rolling away into the infinite winter night. And you rest in your seat, warm and safe and comfortable beyond measure, being carried gently, being held softly, being rocked peacefully through the endless snowy darkness. On and on and on, as the journey continues without end, as the train moves forever through the winter night, as the snow falls and falls and falls, And you drift and drift and drift, deeper and deeper into peace, into stillness, into rest.